Raider Nation. Thank you for joining us on the Only Nation podcast. My name is Heidi, but you may know me as Kevlar Prom Dress or even Raider Ladybug. I'm here again with Raider Homer, and we're ready to talk some Raiders football together.
Oh, yeah, I'm always ready to talk Raider football. I don't care what time of night it is.
It's one of my favorite subjects.
Mine too. Hey, we got a lot in common, huh?
We sure do.
So, I got to ask you, during Karen's interview, part one, I was giggling like a little schoolgirl. Did you notice that?
Yeah, I did, especially when I was editing. I noticed, especially when you were giggling and laughing, because Karen and I ran off without you, and we abandoned you.
My feelings were so hurt. Oh, my God. I was like, hey, I'm still here.
Yeah, we totally abandoned you. I felt so bad once I listened back to it, but it was just like, two girls just having fun together and just going off.
Hey, girl power.
I feel bad about it, but I had so much fun with Karen, and that was a long interview, which is why we had to split it up into two shows. But I think it went really well. I really enjoyed getting to know her, really enjoyed hearing her Raiders stories and how she ended up being able to take pictures on the Raiders sideline. And she's just a fascinating lady, and I'm looking forward to getting into the second part of this interview.
Oh, me too, and yeah, she's definitely a Gruden grinder. She has worked hard, and that's what you're supposed to do. So, it's a good thing that good things are happening to her. Especially this Jalen Richard, an evening with Jalen Richard, brought to you by Platinum Group Productions. Raider Nation, make sure you get there and get those tickets, man, because I'll be broadcasting from there, but that's not the only reason you should get those tickets. It's not your average meet and greet. It's going to be more of a get your autograph and then mingle with the players and talk to the players. So that she's trying to do something a little different, not to where they just herd you in there like some cattle and then you get your autograph and you get out. So yeah, make sure you contact Platinum Group Productions, Karen Metters, and Becca.
Yeah, and they are actually selling tickets right now. You can contact them at platinumgroupproductions@gmail.com. That is on March 6th in Kendall, Texas. I guess that is Dallas, Fort Worth area, correct?
Yeah.
And you'll be broadcasting live from there.
Oh, I'm excited, man. I'm excited to bring the Raider Nation to an event like that where, you'll hear from the people, the partners, Karen and Becca from Platinum Group Productions. And you'll hear from Reset, who's the president of DFW RFL, who is hosting the event. I'm looking forward to, and I'm trying hard to bring Jalen Richard to the Only Nation podcast, so we can hear from him.
That would be great if we could get him.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And also, Jalen is actually really involved in getting this show promoted. He has put out an ad that you can text Jalen directly at 310-706-2011 to purchase your tickets. Text Jalen himself. He is really into this. Let's get as many people out there as we possibly can.
Absolutely. And you know what, Raider Nation? Make sure you like, follow, and subscribe the Only Nation podcast on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. We're working hard to bring y'all some good Raider content, whether we're talking about the Raider team or bringing people that have experienced the Raider Nation and the Raider team in deeper levels than what everyday fans might have, and make sure, we're giving out contact information. So make sure you contact the Only Nation podcast. You can call us at 904-701-8667, or you can email at theonlynationpodcast@gmail.com. Or like I said, we're on Twitter. We're on Facebook. On Instagram, it's at Only Nation Pod. Our Twitter handle is at Only Nation Pod also. So get there, Raider Nation. Tell us, hey, this episode was great. That episode was great. Raider Homer, shut up. You were laughing too much. Let us know what you think, Raider Nation. Let us know.
All right, sounds good. How about we get into the rest of this interview now?
Well, let's go. I'm excited.
So Heidi, tell me more about what you guys got going with the Ladies of the Darkness.
Yeah, we actually are kind of on a hiatus. We keep going into hiatuses. Unplanned. Andrea, one of the main co-hosts, she had a little baby.
Oh, okay. She's a Twitter friend too.
Yes. he's taken up pretty much any recording time that we can try to piece together. So we haven't been able to record. Jenny's still around and active on Twitter, and Andrea's active when she can be.
Right.
She's just, really, I'm kind of like the only one that's there the most. We definitely want to get more episodes recorded. It's just schedule-wise, it's impossible right now.
Yeah. I do interact with Andrea on Twitter. We agree all the time. I like her.
Yeah, her and I do too, and it's kind of scary, actually. We were talking about Bill Belichick last night, and we were like agreeing with each other, like totally, exactly. Okay, yes, you're right.
Right on. Hey, when you're right, you're right, and I could probably spout out several of the things that you guys were talking about too, because these are just universal correctness. That's all. The man's a cheater. The man's a cheater. He doesn't deserve at least half of the rings that he thinks that he wears on his fingers. Let me see here. What else is there? Pretty much. The man's a cheater.
He didn't have to be.
He didn't have to be. Exactly. No, they had the talent and the wherewithal to definitely not. But you know what? I think that saying in life, and it doesn't necessarily mean in relationships, but you know what? Once a cheater, always a cheater. Once you cross that line, you know what? You do it the first time, there's nothing stopping you from doing it a second or a third or whatever. So, yep, most definitely. No, I've been around Tom Brady. I personally like Tom Brady. I mean, I don't have a reason to not like him.
Well, what if he came to play for the Raiders?
Except for I just don't want him coming to the Raiders. I ain't wasting $60 million on that.
Oh.
That's what the Chargers are for.
I don't like that idea either.
He's not. He's not.
I'm okay with the idea of bringing in another quarterback, fresh blood, pushing Carr, or even, drafting a successor. But I don't want to put all of our eggs in a 43-year-old quarterback's hand.
We're not. Well, this is the way I look at it. Okay, well, a couple things. One, okay, so that Twitter commercial and all of that crap there at the Super Bowl, he was flat out came out and said that he's not going anywhere. He's not leaving. He's not. But again, if he were to go into free agency, he's not going to end up at the Raiders. We have two men here that are building up a dynasty, and they're doing it with new young talent and the love of playing the game. These men that they're drafting are playing for the love of the game. They're not playing for chasing after a contract and the dollar. And it's going to take several years to get this shift coming around, but they're building a dynasty. And the way I look at Brady is this, that unfortunately, outside of standing next to him and singing the national anthem at the Pro Bowl, this is how I'm going to always remember that man, because I was telling a friend of mine who's a rabid Brady fan. I mean, if he could marry that dude, he would, right? Oh God, I just half want to choke him. But this is how I will always remember him. And I kept telling him, I said, listen, if Brady was smart, he'd have gone out on top. And he'd have gone out on top like Brett Favre initially did before he went and Brett Favre himself, right?
Yeah.
If he had just stayed retired, out on top, on a winning, everything that you would think about when his name comes up for the most part in the average fan, you think good things about Tom Brady. Me, this is what I think, because I told Quinn, I said, listen, you got a 42-year-old man on the downside of life. Okay. We're sorry, but that's the way it is. Playing football against these men here that are 22, 23, 24 years old. And everybody knows that a man comes into his last growth spurt between the ages of 22 and 24 when they finally come into their full on strength. You got a whole bunch of young guys out here, piss and vinegar with a whole lot more testosterone going on in their bodies than that old guy does. I'm like, why would you want to do it? So for me, that very last play, when he literally got knocked and sacked on his butt in the end zone, and from his butt, he threw that interception for a touchdown and they lost the playoffs. Like, that's how I'm going to remember the guy. It's certainly better than the tuck rule. That's what happened. And the thing is Mr. Rabid fan over here hasn't said one word. And let me tell you something. This Raider fan's been taking the high road because I have not rubbed his nose into it not one single time. I'm dying to, but I haven't done it. But in all reality, the way I look at it, we lucked out. We didn't owe AB a damn dime. We didn't have to pay $30 million for him. We're not paying $60 million for Tom Brady either. So that type of investment really needs to come from literally the Chargers. I see him, if he goes anywhere, he's going to go to LA or he's going to go to Indianapolis. He's not going to go, I don't think, anywhere else if he does not stay with the Patriots. But he's one of the few that's like Howie Long. And what I think of Cleveland Farrell and Jonathan Abram, those two especially, they were drafted a Raider and they're going to retire a Raider. And I still think the same thing with Tom Brady. He was drafted as a Patriot and he's going to retire as a Patriot. That's just.
Oh, I think he should.
Yeah.
He doesn't need to go anywhere. It would be wrong.
I do too. Right. I do too. So that's my take on it. And I forget who was the professional guy. It wasn't Woodson. It was, I can't remember, but somebody on Twitter that basically said this, folks, simmer down. If the news or the headline does not come from inside the camp, there's no truth to it. There's none whatsoever. So I just scroll past all of it every now and again. You know, I get irritated with some of it, but I'm like you. They say it's a 3-year learning curve to come in and learn Gruden's system. Carr's coming into that 3rd year. So for me personally, because I really like the guy, if there's not significant improvement in the areas that have been weak, if there isn't significant improvement in this 3rd year, then I am all for. But we do need to get this man a viable backup quarterback. And Lennon, love that guy, but I'll tell you what, have you seen the distance between where the helmet on the top of his neck to his shoulders, how much neck is actually exposed? He scares me. I get scared every time he comes in there. It's like, I don't know how in the hell his mother was raising this boy playing football. And, you know, I mean, he's okay, but I personally, you know, if Peterman hadn't have gotten hurt, I know that Gruden really liked Peterman, and I liked what I saw the first few preseason games. So, you know, something's going to happen at quarterback, but Carr's not going anywhere. They committed to him. You know, they made a mutual commitment to learn the system, and then we'll see what happens after. That's what I think. And anything after this year, if there is not significant improvement and we are not in the playoffs, I think we're going to roll into Vegas and win all the way to the Super Bowl. But that's me. Might be a little wishful thinking, but I really don't think so. I think that we have the capability of doing it this year. And I had no problem with watching the Raiders kind of step back or stomp back a little bit on this year. At least that's what it seemed like from the sidelines anyway. That's just me. That's just my take. But yeah, we're going to win.
I think it's just crazy enough story that there's some truth to it.
Which one, Brady?
Yeah, just crazy enough.
Right. And at the end of the day, it goes a little something like this. I'm not the one making the decision. I'm not a fly on the wall. But more than that, beyond making that decision, it's not my signature in the bottom of the contract, and it is not my signature on that signing bonus. So unless or until I'm in that position that I'm the one writing the checks and calling the shots, it is what it is. They're going to do what they do, and we're going to live with it.
Yeah, we're the spectators.
That's right. That's right. That's all we are. So I'm excited, and I loved, you know, that split second it took it for me to realize when they drafted Cleveland Farrell exactly what they were doing. You know, it was like, oh, I get it, and I loved it. And I mean, I love that young man. In fact, one of my best images, I'm sitting on it right now. But when they first came around at the LA Rams game, the very first preseason game, those two, Abram and Farrell, they were the only two to go and acknowledge the black hole. They were the only two to go run that line as they came out and then turned around like they do pregame. And I didn't know that was going to happen. And I was just kind of standing over by the Raider sideline over there. And as they were running past, I barely got this really good shot of Abram. In fact, Black Widow used it for a meme, a game day meme, and Abram picked it up and retweeted it. That's really cool. But there was that one, and then out of the corner of my eye, so I had the longer lens, and you have to be like at least 15 feet away. But as I turned to go look at something else, out of the corner of my eye, I'll have to send you this picture, Homer, so you can put it up. Out of the corner of my eye, I got a picture of Farrell, and the sun is just, the light is perfect. You should see, he's strapping his chin strap, and the look on his face, the smile on his face is like, oh my gosh, you know, this guy, you could just see he's experiencing the whole thing. And it wasn't until I was editing that I didn't see on his forearm cover thingy, you know, that they use. on there, he had written, apparently he did all the years that he played at Clemson, but Dream With Me, Baby. And so you see that, but this was one of those ones that I caught out and I turned and I just got it. It was a split second thing. And it's absolutely one of my favorite images I think that I've ever taken. And I've got quite a few, but that's one of them. The sheer joy on his face was, I'm glad that I caught that. Very much so. In fact, I'm going to make some art out of that one.
Looking forward to seeing it.
I've been sitting on. It's out there, but I've been sitting on it because it's that good. I don't want it out on the internet and all that stuff until I get things. I have to get it copyrighted and all the stuff. Yeah, squared away, and then scoot and move. But that was cool. That was really cool that day, and I love how they paid tribute to the Black Hole. Those two especially. They're there to be a Raider until they don't play football no more. That's my feeling.
Yeah, that's one thing I really like about Gruden, that the rookie experience that he has is to teach some of the Raider history to the rookies.
Yep. Yeah.
And I think that's awesome.
I do too. It's a culture. I think, I think they'd probably do something like that specifically that comes to mind. And I didn't realize how tight actually the two franchises are, how deep they go. Green Bay. Green Bay is another one, I think, because they're so entrenched and they're the only team that's owned by the fans or the citizens of Green Bay. It's a little bit different up there, but they teach their history. So I can see, the two of them, the two being a lot of similarities there. And of course, when they went to LA and I thought I could be anything but a Raider fan, the Packers were my other team. So I like them. I'll take them in the NFC, but then that's when I came back to the realization in about 1983 or 84 that it didn't matter where my team went. I'm a Raiders fan. It's in my blood and that's just the way it is. And wherever they go, I guess I get to follow, except for LA. I will never, hardly ever hear me refer to, LA Raiders. If I just, I was 19, 20 years old when I lost them first time out of my hometown. So we can take and tell some people in the NFL fan base, don't go crying about your team moving when some of us lost our team twice in a lifetime from the same place. But if it wasn't for traveling with Raider Nation and experiencing what it is to be a Raiders fan on the road, my attitude would probably be, never Las Vegas, blah, blah, blah. Having spent 4 months in Las Vegas and the more that I was around the corporate side of some of the stuff and learning more about what was going on with the negotiations or lack of negotiation with Oakland and Alameda, that city and that county does not deserve the Raiders and everything that the Raiders are, and how many times that the Davis family was lied to and misled by the city and the county government out there. I'm glad to see them gone because my team and myself as a fan, we deserve better than what they've been given. And getting inside that stadium and up underneath, not a safe place to be. Some of it is so rusted out and those people up there are, stomping and this and that and the other. Like if you could see the underside of the stand, you'd be tippy-toeing up there. It's time that stadium got brought down. I mean, you have rusted steel patches on rusted steel. And if you've been in the Black Hole, you've seen them. You've seen that. It's that way all over the place. And then you get up underneath and look up and it's like, oh my God, I'm out. If there's an earthquake, you'll find me out on the 50-yard line. Life is good. I'm going to go there. But so I understand the heart and the attachments and all of that stuff. And I don't like seeing the people of the greater Oakland area or around there that was counting on football season and those jobs and what have you that get brought on by concessions and things like that. It is definitely going to hurt that community. But the bigger political picture out there is they don't want any professional team, and they're doing the best they can to get rid of the A's too. All they want to do is bulldoze that whole area literally and gentrify it, and they will put one little park in the middle that, it's all about all of that. If you're looking at it from a real estate point of view, it's millions, billions of dollars sitting there undeveloped, and they're going to develop it.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't realize that Oakland wants professional sports out of it so bad. They turned down an XFL franchise. The XFL was going to pay Oakland to have a franchise there.
Yeah. No, yeah, it's at Mayor. I don't know. I'd go bitch slap her just if I could. Like, I probably
I'd hold her down for you.
Pardon me? Thank you. Because I don't even think I could stand to be in the same room with her. But it's amazing what they're doing or what she's allowing to happen that's destroying that city. They don't want pro sports pretty much in the Bay Area anymore. Well, San Francisco, but even still, the only thing
that's Santa
in San
Clara.
Francisco. Well, I was going actually with the Warriors and the Giants. Now they moved them down to Santa Clara, and then they moved them from basically San Francisco and Marin County down to Santa Clara County. And not only did that, they built $1 billion stadium. It's an ugly ass rectangle. Okay, and they put it down at the back end of the Great America parking lot, and then they don't even repave the damn parking lot. I've been there one time, and I don't care to ever go back. Yeah, and then they wonder why their fan base changed. Again, demographics, people, pay attention. If you're used to the wine drinkers and the people, and I've seen it the few times that I've been there, I've seen the people sit out in their little BMWs with their little table and the linen tablecloth and the wine and all that. I've actually seen that. So if you think that fan is going to drive all the way down to Santa Clara and put up with that crap that they got to go drive into, they're not going to, because they know that their car's the first one that's going to get broken into. So, like, duh, did you not think further down the road? Duh. I still think that they should have just played at Cal for however many years and rebuilt a new stadium at Candlestick Park. Just upgraded it is what they should have done, but they don't put us in charge, Heidi. If they did, we'd had everything worked out correct.
You got that right.
Oh, goodness. Was there any other questions?
No, I was actually just about to wrap that up with you. Just wanted to see if there was anything else you wanted to cover that we haven't touched on yet.
We covered a lot.
Before we, this has been a great call, Karen. You have such great insight, and we really appreciate you coming on this show, the Only Nation podcast, and telling it like it is. So before we let you go, tell the Raider Nation how to find you on social media.
Okay, you can find me first. First of all, it's Karen Bates Nutters on Facebook, and KNPS Shots is the page that houses all of my Raider Nation and the football photos. Also, it's blitzalytics.com, and that's BLITZALYTICS. So if you go to blitzalytics.com, and then you'll see, you go down and there's a list of contributors, and you can click on my name, and that'll take you over to the galleries with all the other images. Those ones that are logoed up with Blitz and myself, those ones are for sale. The things that I post on my Facebook page for Raider Nation, anybody can go into those galleries and, right click and download or copy, screenshot, whatever. Mm-hmm. I put those up specifically for Raider Nation, with my family. And, that's what we do. So you can go look for stuff there. And then Twitter is at KMPS Shots, SHOTS. And that's also, Instagram. You can find, I'm starting to do more on Instagram as well.
Yeah, it's a necessary
broke
evil.
Down, huh?
Yeah.
Well, the main thing was my frustration with them is Instagram is made for the cell phone and for the app, and that's all fine and dandy, but I'm a photographer and I have other equipment. So when I do all my stuff and then I, download and edit, Instagram basically discourages anything that has to do with a desktop or a laptop. And so that was my main thing, was like, well, I don't have time for you. I can't worry about what's going on behind me. I'm anticipating the next thing in front of me. So it wasn't until we got our galleries up here at Blitz that there's, I can actually go click on Twitter and put those post those pictures over, not Twitter, but Instagram. And it's real easy. Then I just go through my galleries. Ooh, I like that one. Do that, tag the person, make a thing, and go on to the next. So I've enjoyed it more now because of that than I have before. And looking at the number of followers from some of these people and things like that, there's some good stuff that happens on Instagram, and there's going to be some good stuff that's coming up. So, Platinum Group Productions is the new entity or the endeavor that Becca Maddox out of the Dallas, Booster Club, she and I have come up with, and it's been about a year in the making. Our first event is going to be with, Jalen Richard. And it's going to be in the Dallas area in Texas on March 6th. And we have a second event that's coming together on March 7th. March 6th is family night out at Red's Roadhouse. And we are really, really looking forward to the fan base and Jalen being able to spend more time with the people that are coming in. Platinum Group Productions is about the experience with our athletes. So in a nutshell, I'm not lining people up off the door. We're not doing cattle calls. So we're controlling the numbers, and people get to actually spend anywhere from 30 seconds to a minute, depending. But that's a long time when you're standing there talking with somebody while you're waiting for your picture to actually be printed so he can autograph it. Mm-hmm. I put together, I think, a really, really cool outline on increasing the amount of time and the one-on-one time that fans get to spend with athletes as they come on. And so Jalen is the first, and we're really looking forward to it. He is so much fun, and he believes in me, and I believe in him, and so I'm just really, really excited. My first time out on my own doing something like this is with him. I'm so excited.
Hard work pays off. Congratulations. I mean, that's awesome.
Thank you.
That you have worked so hard and everything is starting to come to fruition as far as the things that you want to do.
Oh, thank you. Speaking of Jalen, so when we were talking and explaining to his marketing rep, like how we came to work with each other, how, I'd seen him a few times at Crab's camp, and he was in there. He was in the mix with all the guys. Because Crabtree brought out about 20 some odd people that would come out for his camp. So it wasn't until he was at DeAndre's camp. And what I liked about Jalen, and I do like about DeAndre, but, being the host, he has other responsibilities, but DeAndre was there one-on-one working with these kids. But I'll tell you what, the one and some of the other guys that came in, they were really good at spending time with these young men and these boys, showing them proper form and proper, to do things. And the one person that was, each group that came in, he was at the starting line. If they were running sprints, if they were doing this, Jalen was the one who was doing everything with those kids. Busting a sweat, the whole 9 yards. And that impressed me. That impressed me a lot. And so fast forward through this season where I get to spend a little bit more time on the sidelines and then talk with Rafiq. And I was telling them that I said, there was just something about you that day that beyond the fact that your work ethic and what have you, but there was just something about you that there was like a special light about you. And he was like, and he calls me Miss Karen. I keep telling him, listen, I'm not teaching Sunday school. But he's like, Rafiq, Miss Karen. He goes, you should have seen her. She was the only photographer out shooting that camp, and he goes, she was out there hustling from the time it started until it was over. He goes, you should have seen her. Like, she worked that whole field. And he basically said that, the same thing. He says, me watching you, he said there was this light about you that I can't explain it. And then of course we come together and moving forward. But I just, we both think that whatever this working relationship that we're building is meant to be. And so again, he's one of my adopted boys, and you mess with one of mine, I'm going to get my wooden spoon. And I'm going to adjust your attitude, because as far as I'm concerned, once you become one of mine, I'm a typical mom when it comes to this. That boy can't do no wrong. So don't make me have to come and adjust your attitude otherwise. But I'm just really, really excited and thankful and grateful that it's Jalen that I get to go around the block the first time with. And so there's going to be a whole lot more coming, and we're going to have a whole lot of fun. And I can promise, because this is me, that these events that we sponsor and put on, they are experiences, and one way or the other, no matter what it takes, people who come into these things, they will walk out and walk away with more than they expected. That they, everything that you expected, and then some. This is supposed to be, building memories for the people who come in, their kids, depending on if it's a family event. And so that I can promise, no matter what the hard work is, that is what Becca and I have said that we were going to do from the beginning. So far, what we have lined up, I think is going to do all of that and then some. I can't say much more than that because some of it is supposed to be a surprise. But for those who are able to make it to Texas for this event, and I do know that it's a little bit short notice, but we only have until June 30th to work with these guys before they head to camp, and then they're on the Raiders schedule and not their own. So some of them we have to scoot and move, and if you can make it, you can make it. If not, at some point in time, some of these things will be coming to your town. They're not going to be specifically in Texas. So I was telling Homer, to start this, I went home. My Raider home is in Texas, my Raider Nation family. And to get this concept and this business model up off the ground, I was going, first of all, where I know the people, I know the athletes, and people I love that have my back that will work with me as we're building this thing. So that's the main reason these off-season things are in Texas right now. We'll be coming to other towns as the rest of the business model comes into place. There's a couple more components that are still in development, but they're cool. And so once this one does come into place, we're going to have a lot of fun. And I wish I could say more, but I can't right now. I put all of us under an NDA agreement, so I can't say anything.
Well, I want to say, thank you for, paying it forward and inviting me to broadcast from there. So, I want to work to help you get your, vision out. I can't wait to cover it with you. I can't wait to keep working with you, so I thank you a lot.
Oh yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it. What's cool about this first one is it's a first for all of us, and God knows we've done a lot of that. There's going to be a part of some of it that if it can go wrong, it will go wrong, type of stuff. We just roll with it and adapt and change. But I'm so looking forward to doing more events with you, and I am very, very happy to be able to provide you with this platform to be able to get your podcast up off the ground, broadcast live from an event. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, I'm excited.
Looking forward to it. Very much so. Very much so. And you are more than welcome. I appreciate all of your support. Heidi, I didn't know that, the ones I've been interacting with are part of, your group with Ladies of the Darkness. And so I'm like, that's a lot of fun. And I look forward to interacting and doing more stuff with you, moving forward. Whatever you need. If you need something, let me know. If I can do it, I'm there.
Definitely. Thank you very much.
You're welcome, sweetheart.
All right. So we're looking forward to March 6th and 7th, you said?
Yes, March 6th, the Friday night event is the bigger one. And Saturday night's event is still in the planning stages. There'll be more out, but that one's going to be, I don't want to say necessarily invitation only, but this one has a different goal to the event than the Friday night. The Friday night is straight up about Raider Nation and family and all of that stuff. So it's just going to be a fun 3-day weekend in the Dallas area. I can't wait to see who's going to show up. We're going to have fun.
Me too.
So I'm hoping to be able to put them at the same hotel, in the same block of rooms. Not sure yet, but I'm hoping to be able to do, that's what I'm hoping for, is a 3-day weekend is those that are coming in. I have to come in and stay at the hotel myself. So if we can all get there, I was telling Homer, I'm like, you come down in the middle of the morning, you never know who you're going to see down in the lobby and, stuff like that. So it could be the likelihood of spontaneous things occurring are more likely in this environment than any of the others. And that's the stuff I'm really looking forward to, is just to see what happens organically. Well, just a bunch of fun. I think we're more party than party knows what to do with, but that's what we do.
We are going to help you get a little bit of the word out.
Thank you.
I hope that it's a great experience for everyone, for the players, for you, for the fans. Like I said, it's short notice, but we're going to help you get the word out.
Awesome. That sounds good. Thank you. You guys are a lot of fun. I appreciate this. And I got tons more stories. I haven't even told you about I started to, and I got to pull the pictures, but how I told that one guy off on the sideline at the Pro Bowl when he kept bugging me about who my team was. And I told him that there was only 2 colors he needed to worry about in this world. One was silver and the other was black.
There you go.
And we're going to leave it there, because I'll tell you what, not only did I get the attention of the whole darn line, but Derek Burgess, who was playing there, and Marcus Stroud, man, they were high-fiving in the whole 9 yards.
That's awesome.
That was a good one. All right.
Who's awesome? You're awesome.
And you guys are too.
Yeah.
You're awesome. Gosh, this is so much fun. I didn't think I was going to enjoy it.
You did. I mean, you will always, the door is always open, for future events and future stories. I mean, I can't wait to get you back on.
Oh, I can't wait for next year, or the next season to find out or figure out what the next go around is going to be. Yeah. I got tired of the same old stories. I'm glad I'm able to get out and make some new ones.
Yeah. Man, keep working your ass off, Karen. That's great shit,
thank
man.
you. We're just getting started. Okay, well, I'm going to let you guys go because you got some editing to do.
This has been a
I've
great
got a lot
call.
of it
I'm
to
ready to
do.
listen some more. Maybe we did a 2.5-hour conversation. I mean, yeah, but yeah, go ahead and
Oh,
take care
wow,
of business.
gosh, it's been that long?
No, the
Okay.
first time, well, I guess the second time we talked on the phone.
Oh, yeah, you and I kept
Yeah.
going on forever and ever.
Yeah.
That's why I'm always amazed with the years I work in radio. Well, back in the day when it wasn't digital, they literally have to splice the tape
Oh, yeah.
and splice it and re-put it together. That was some amazing work, and to have it, it go off and there'd be no glitch in the tape. I've always been fascinated with. I don't want to do it, but I've been fascinated with it. I do enough editing of my stuff. I'm like, I don't like sitting on my butt. This is why I chose to be a photographer.
Yeah. It's a lot of work,
You
too.
amaze me. Well, I can't wait. And thank you guys so much. And again, if there's anything else, like you need something, let me know. And if I can do it, you don't even have to ask. It's done.
All right, cool. Appreciate it.
Sounds good.
Thank you, dear. And thank you, Homer.
No problem. Like I said, just let me know. I'm here for you.
All right. Thank you. Goodbye.
Bye.
All right.
And that is Karen Bates Metters. Thank you so much, Karen, for coming on the show and letting us interview you. I really enjoyed the stories you had to tell and everything that you were able to share with us from behind the scenes at Raider Nation.
Yeah, that's a great thing, right? As being a Raider fan, we don't always hear, what it's like on the Raider sideline, what it's like being around these Raider players and what it's like to develop relationships like that. So, man, Karen, she's a great person. And so it's good things happen to great people, or people that work hard. And so, make sure you show her the support to Karen out there, Raider Nation. Hit her up on social media. Buy the tickets to the Jalen Richard event, man. That's going to be a special thing. She looks to do more and more of that, not just in Texas, all across the country. She's a Cali girl. She's also a huge member of the Texas Raider Nation. So she's got roots here, roots in Cali. So support her. Get out there and support her.
Definitely. If you are near pretty much Texas anywhere, try to make your way to Red's Roadhouse in Kendall, Texas, March 6th from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m., meeting Jalen Richard himself. Contact Platinum Group Productions at gmail.com or text Jalen directly at 310-706-2011. Enjoy your time with her. Enjoy your time with Homer, who will be broadcasting live, and enjoy your time with Jalen. We'd love to hear some stories about your experience that night.
Yeah. And stop by the Raider Homer broadcast, there at the Evening with Jalen Richard event. Tell the Raider Nation what's up, so make sure you stop by, get there. It's going to be an exciting event, and it's going to be worth every penny, Raider Nation. It's going to be worth every penny.
Definitely. If I was anywhere near there, I would be going, but being out here in California, that is quite a commute.
Oh, yeah, but don't worry. During the broadcast, we're going to bring you onto the Raider Homer channel for the Only Nation podcast. Yeah, don't worry about it. You're going to be there.
You'd better, because I asked for the night off work so I could actually be there. I'm giving up Monster Jam.
Oh, man.
Mm-hmm. I am giving up Monster Jam just for the nation.
There you go. That's dedication, Raider Nation, right there.
That's right. Anyways, thanks for joining us again on this interview with Karen. And if you haven't heard the first part of the interview, go back to episode number 5. That's the first part of the interview we had with Karen. It's going to be a long week for me. I'll be telling you guys all about it on the next show. Surprise, surprise. But until then, have a great week, and we'll talk to you on the next episode. Go Raiders.
Raiders. Cool.